Welcome everyone! Welcome to another preview. This is MetalCanyon, and we'll be previewing a game by Illusion Studios called Rimworld. I have had my eye on this game for quite a while, ever since I believe it was told by some subscribers of mine that I should, take a look at this game because it's very similar, well, in a way, in some ways, to Prison Architect. It certainly has a very, very similar graphical style. And now the developer has, got in touch with me and said, hey, you want to try out Rimworld? Well, heck yeah, I want to try out Rimworld. And I have to say that I don't love the game. Actually, I don't like the game. No, wait a second. What's the word I'm looking for here? Oh yeah, I don't like the game because I adore this game. Got you there, huh? Hopefully the developer wasn't watching this and just, stopped the video after the I don't like the game. But anyway, yes, I know I'm giving away spoilers in many of my previews now, but I just have to say right up from the start, I absolutely adore this game. So let me show you. Just like in Prison Architect, it is a building and management simulation, or I guess construction and management simulation, and where you are in charge of your colony and your survivors, because this, I'm guessing, is your ship. And something has happened, it's exploded, and all the cryopods have, well, they've ejected. And some of your colonists are, trying to settle anew now. Now let me load my Jamestown colony over here, which I've been building for a few hours now. The one thing I have to tell you about this game is that it's still in early access. It's now on Steam, yes. It was released in November the 4th, 2013, that was the alpha version, and now it's in early access on Steam, so you can get it here. And the first thing you need to know about this game is that you need to give it a good try, because it has really no tutorial at the moment. There are these orange little text boxes that will appear, which will give you little tips and tricks here and there, but it's not really a tutorial, and it does not count as one. So my first try with this game was about, I think, half an hour to an hour long, and I was completely lost. Things didn't really go well. I was getting attacked here and there, blah, blah, blah. It just wasn't going well, and in the end, I said, I cannot be bothered with this right now. I'm going to... She's playing horseshoes. I'm just going to shut this off, clear my mind, go do something else, and I didn't really have a good impression of the game. And that is why I am imploring you, if you get this game, one way or another, give it a chance. Because when I sat down and gave it a chance one more time, oh man, did I start loving this. The UI, I will admit, at the beginning was quite confusing. There's like architect, there's orders. Okay, you can order people to mine, haul things, cut plants, and so on. There's zoning, stockpile, dumping stockpile. What is all this, Okay, here's a structure. You can make walls, production, power. Okay, this makes sense. And there you've got floors. Okay, you put floors down. That's fine. And the ship, which is empty. And then you've got work. Look at all this. You've got restrictions. Still haven't done a lot with this. You can assign people to, you can assign them outfits. You've got animals tabs. You've got factions. You've got the entire world map here. So it's a lot to actually take in at the beginning. So I admit that I got completely lost, and I was actually disheartened at the beginning. But the more I played this game, the second time around, when I actually gave it a chance, the more I actually started enjoying it, and very soon afterwards, loving it. I really have to, say that again, this game is so much fun. If you enjoy the Prison Architect graphical style, or should I say, if you don't mind the Prison Architect-esque graphical style, which, you know, it's very simple, sort of overhead, maybe slightly at an angle for items and such, and very simple characters without really any huge animations or anything like that, you know, and you like these management sims, building sims, you will really enjoy this. Okay, and I'll stop saying that you'll enjoy it and actually show you the actual, you know, the game. So the first thing that happens is when you start a new game, you can actually select where you want to land. Now, I've chosen to land... Wait a second, that's not me. Is that me? Yeah, that's Jamestown. So I've decided to land not in a temperate forest, but actually in the desert, because I wanted, you know, a different biome. Well, we've got a mad animal that's gone mad, and it's going to be attacking everyone. It's an iguana, so yeah, I mean, they can be fairly dangerous, but it's not that much. So anyway, you choose where you will land. Now, the really cool thing about this is there's another village over here. It's the Togetherness Tree. Weird. Outlander town. The really cool thing about this is that you can see that every place, every little square has its own stats. Average temperature in winter, in the summer, what kind of a biome it is. This is desert, this is temperate forest, this is boreal forest, what kind of terrain it is, if it's flat, if it's small hills, if it's mountainous, how much rainfall you get. So over here you can see there's not that much rainfall, though for a desert, quite a bit still. And also what kind of stone types and what kind of a growing period you have, because growing is quite important. You know, over here it gets me food, it gets me cotton, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty cool. So depending on when you choose to land, I know that's kind of weird because it's, you know, escape pods, but you can actually choose where to land, and that is where your playing area will be. So this is my playing area. I'm not actually sure if you can enlarge that or not. Where's Lumi? Sorry, Lumi, but we'll have to get up, even though she's sleeping. She's not going to be happy about having to get up, but more on that later. I'm going to try and get this thing before it even gets to me. Oh, no, come on, Lumi. Oh, nicely done. Wow, it's dead in one shot. Holy crap. That was amazing. I've never killed an iguana in one shot. I've never killed anything in one shot. That's pretty awesome. You can see that there's another iguana here, but this one has actually been tamed. And it's tamed itself on its own. It's actually quite funny. But anyway, so you choose where to land, and you get nothing at the beginning. You get about, you know, 3 colonists usually, or 1, depending on what type of a storyline you choose. And, you know, some items that will help you create a colony. And then you have to, well, basically build a colony for yourself. You can mine stuff out. For example, there's just marble here. There's loads of marble, actually. But what you really need usually is steel, compacted steel over here. I want to mine all of this out, and I have quite a bit of steel here in reserve. So we'll be picking all this up when we need it. We've got 114 now, which is not a lot, but you know, we'll get more. So you build up your colony, and just like in Prison Architect, and I hope that this is the last time I actually mention Prison Architect, because I feel like it's unfair if I keep comparing it, because it's an excellent game in its own right. Or should I say, just like in The Sims, you need to take care of your colonists. Now, your colonists will need food, they will need rest. They can also sleep on the ground, by the way, and in the beginning that's probably going to be the case because you're not going to have anything, not even beds. Then they need to have some fun, and of course practically everything you mouse over will have a nice little tooltip, breaking down, you know, why that's happening or what does it do. And there's also the interesting stats like beauty, because, you know, people want to have a nice environment. That's why I have plants over here. That's why I have nice chairs. It's important to clean your environment. This blood over here, for example, or this dirt will make it well, not very beautiful, and that's why this little icon is here in the lower right. Toggle the beauty display, and you can see that all of this is -1, which means not very beautiful, and that vomit over there -13. So if we move over to this room over here, it's 0.8 beauty, which is good, it's in the plus, but of course we've got these -13s because there's dirt all around, so this will need to be cleaned out. This one is pretty horrible. What the hell happened here? There's loads of dirt everywhere and nobody cleaning it up. So 1 plus 1.1 and half. So you want to keep the beauty up as much as possible because people can get quite mad about that later on. You've also got comfort, of course, so you can they have to sit and sleep in beds, and space. So you can't just make little cells like you would in Prison Architect, and there we go, I've mentioned it again. You know, I've actually done that in the beginning and said, okay, you'll have just enough space for a bed and, I don't know, a light or something, because they complain about being in the dark as well. And nope, you can't do that. It has to be, you know, spacious. Otherwise, they're not happy and they get cramped. Well, they feel cramped. And of course, the big one, there's the mood. Now, this is the culmination of all of these things. And over here, you'll see that they've got, you know, Lumi has very low expectations, which gives her extra 15 mood. She ate a fine meal. She has an opinion of her husband, LeBlanc, 3. And then she's not Popeye's master. Now, this is because the colonists usually arrive with a... oh my god, he's sleeping in the coal room. They usually arrive with a... animal of some sort. Now, in this case, it's quite funny. They arrived with Popeye, the monkey, with its, yeah, there we go, hypothermia. Get the frig out of there! It's -19 degrees! With its tail shot off. So that's quite funny. Yeah, so she's mad about, you know, well, unhappy about not being its master because she actually doesn't have the skills to train it, so it's been assigned to Stanislav. Now, she also has had disturbed sleep because we got her up to... Oh, yeah, I'm losing power here because my batteries are empty. You know, she's had disturbed sleep because she had to go out and shoot that iguana. And she's lacking a bionic part. This is sort of unique. Well, sort of unique. It's sort of special. Not everyone has this. But she says, flesh is so limited. I wish I had some kind of artificial body part. So that's kind of cool. You can see that Anna is butchering the iguana there we killed. Now this is, you know, this is the way to get meat. And of course, it's brought into this refrigeration unit because I've got these air conditioning units that refrigerate this room to -19 or -20 if possible. And outside, it's 14 degrees at the moment. But of course, it can get up to 53 or something because I'm in the desert. An ugly environment, of course, for Lumi. So, you know, you have to keep them happy. And the problem with mood is if it gets too low, they can get a minor break where they, you know, just start wandering around or something aimlessly, or a major break, and that's really bad because usually they go berserk and... you know, start attacking other colonists. It's just a mess. And it's probably one of the features of the game that I enjoy the least at the moment. But the more you play this game, the more you'll know how to quickly get your people up to speed and how to, you know, how to have them enjoy life in this place. So, you have to keep your people happy by making, you know, their rooms. They like... separate rooms, of course. They don't like sleeping next to each other, especially if other people are doing something while the others are sleeping, because they'll have disturbed sleep. Of course, for LeBlanc and Lumi, they want a bed together, because they're actually husband and wife. So, then we also have medical beds, because sort of a little bit like Dwarf Fortress, even though I haven't played a lot of it, Dwarf Fortress has a very complex way of dealing with injuries and such. And this game, in a way, also has it. Because you can see, I have some toxic buildup. Now, this is from an event, but she also has a stabbed scar and a bad back in the torso area. Now, this, of course, affects her, as you can see, other stats like consciousness, moving, and manipulation. And she's in a little bit of pain. Because of the bad back. But of course, if I look at, for example, LeBlanc, his right lung and left lung have the minor asthma, which affects his breathing, and he has to be treated every so and so days, which is kind of cool if you think about it. So, you know, every I don't know, 5 or 6 days, he needs to go into a medical bed, and one of the colonists assigned as a doctor has to go and treat him. Of course, if he goes by untreated, he might have further problems and so on. So that is pretty damn awesome. Now, Anna over here is making some fine meals, because I've told them in the bill section that I want them to cook 10 fine meals, you know, until they have 10. So this is a nice way of automating things, meaning that if I have some vegetables, like potatoes or corn, and some meat, they will be doing fine meals until they have 10 of them. So, of course, when they eat them, they will keep making them until they have a stockpile of 10. Here's my common room. By the way, the other cool thing is you don't actually have to zone these things. The game does a very good job of, you know, figuring out what room is what. So, for example, there is no zoning here. You know, I haven't told the game, this is my dining room. No, I've just placed down a table and chairs, even though I have chairs here as well, but people go over here and eat their food and also, you know, socialize. They'll play chess over here, they'll play billiard over here, and this is my research place. But, you know, this is pretty cool. So you just make rooms and put the furniture you want in them. And this room is really bloody dirty. What are people doing? I think it's because they're walking over this dirt. I'll have to put some flooring down here. Yeah, I'll do that soon. Now, of course, you might have noticed that I have these coolers over here, these air conditioning units. Now, this is a really... I don't know why I'm so excited about this, but the temperature is an issue. For example, I'm in the desert at the moment, which means that it gets pretty hot outside. Right now it's fall, but in the summer, and it's 22 degrees Celsius, in the summer, when there was a heat wave, it actually got up to 53, 54. It was really hot. So the air conditioning units are important to cool the areas down, especially the sleeping areas. Oh, the raccoon is pregnant. Excellent. That's what I was looking for. I actually bought these 2 raccoons, one male and one female, at a time when my meat supplies were an all-time low. And of course, because I'm in the desert, there's barely anything around. Oh, there's some dromedaries over there. I could try taming them or just shooting them. I don't know. I think I'll try taming these. Especially, let's see, female, male, female. Excellent. Of course, I have a very low chance of taming these, but I would like to, you know, actually tame them and use them as my food source. Because, as I said, the desert has very few... What the hell is that? Oh, it's a dead rat. Desiccated already. There's another one there. I can actually hunt that one. Yeah, there's very few animals around, so you have to be careful with that. So anyway, I bought these 2 raccoons when I was very low on food, and I thought to myself, I don't really know, you know, if the mechanics work this way, but considering I can buy a male and a female, I'm assuming they will mate. And indeed... Oh no, he's consuming the flowers! No! Of course, they also have food and rest needs. But yeah, there we go. The female raccoon is actually pregnant. Excellent, which means there will be more raccoons, and of course then we can slaughter them. I know, eating raccoons kind of weird, but, you know, you have to do what you have to do. And there's lots of blood here because I had animals attack me and raiders and so on and so forth. So that's another thing in this game. There's various events. If you've seen in the world view, there's this village, for example, the Togetherness tree. And then we have this one, for example, which is the Owners, which is a pirate band. Now, they raid every now and then. There's another base over here somewhere. There it is. It is the Scio of the Forest. It's a tribe. And there's another one here. Small town at the Mesa, Outlander town. So, you're not really alone in this place. There's one here, Engo Trobo. You know, you're not really alone in this place, and people do use projectile weapons as well as clubs, bows, and so on and so forth. There's quite a lot of items in the game, but you have to defend every now and then. And you do this by drafting people like you saw me draft Lumi before to take care of that crazed iguana. So, you know, they will, considering Lumi, oh, why is she set like that? There we go. I've just changed her, how to react to nearby enemies. You can see that now she's she's set to attack nearby enemies. Of course, I don't want her running away because she's my main hunter and main person with the survival rifle. She's trying to tame this dromedary, as you can see, but I don't think she's going to succeed. There's a very low amount of chance that they will succeed, but if they do get lucky, it's going to be awesome. Oh, the game has just auto-saved. 7.5% chance. Well, that kind of sucks. What about you? Let's speed up the time a little bit. No? Nothing? I really want to tame them because I don't want to just kill them and then hope that more will arrive later on. I can tell you from playing this for quite a few hours, this map, that this is quite a rare sight. So anyway, there's a day and night cycle, as you can see. At night, it gets, you know, colder, it gets dark, and so on. That's why I have lights around, because people don't like being in the dark. As for the cooling, it's pretty cool, actually. You set down these coolers in the walls, and then you can set what your preferred target temperature is. As you can see, my target temperature is -19. I thought it was 20. There, -20. And of course, it's not really needed to go below 0 to freeze these things. As you can see, it says frozen, won't spoil. Now, if you're above 0, it'll say, you know, that will spoil in, like, I don't know, a year. If you go, like, if your temperature goes higher still, it'll spoil in several days, and so on and so forth. So having a cold room is very wise indeed. But of course, I have 2 coolers here. First of all, because the room is fairly big-ish, but also because I want to keep this place very cool. Every time the doors are opened, a little bit of the hot air comes inside, and that will, you know, increase the temperature. And I need the 2 coolers because 1 cooler simply was not enough, because when it's a very hot summer, the 1 cooler just couldn't cope with cooling the room. And that's really cool, I think. No pun intended. So anyway, I'm also cooling all these rooms. You can have these air vents, which, you know, try to equalize the temperature. So as you can see over here, it's 22, 22, 21, because 21 is my target temperature. I actually have 2 coolers for all these rooms here. There's also, of course, roofing. You can't see the roofing, but all of this is under a roof, because I've set it so. I mean, you know, any of the rooms you build that are enclosed, they will automatically build roofs over, which is a good idea because people don't like, you know, sleeping in the rain or, you know, thunderstorms or whatever. There's various power methods. Let me show you. Power. You can build the power conduits. Well, you have to, because the power conduits will, you know, distribute power around. But of course, these tiny little lines, these get spawned on their own. These get spawned by... Oh, bloody hell, what? A distant supervolcano has erupted and begun spewing millions of cubic kilometers of ash into the atmosphere. Ash in the atmosphere will obscure the sun, temperatures will drop, and plants will suffer for lack of sunlight. It could pass in a few weeks, or it might last many months. Oh, bloody hell. That is not good. That is not good, especially because I am relying on these solar generators over here, as I was saying, to fill up my batteries and basically power the base. Now, I do have 2 fuel generators over here, which use wood. However, the problem with this place is there's not a lot of wood to go around. I mean, yes, there's cactuses here and there. Wow, there's a poplar tree there. There's some cactuses over here, and as you can see, I've actually planted... Of course, where there's not just sand, this is, you know, a patch of soil. I've planted trees, but they take forever. Look at this. 37% grown, and in-game, this took like 8 days, at least. So it takes a long while. Not to mention that I had some problems with that toxic spill before, and lots of my stuff died. So this is going to be a problem. The, outdoors temperature is going to go down. I'm not really concerned about that much because it's probably still going to be fairly pleasant, but I'll have to rely more on these fuel generators, and I can tell you from experience right now that these 2 aren't enough. They produced about 2 kilowatts and I need at least 3. But of course, I need at least 3 when these batteries are still being discharged, so that's not going to be good. I do have a wind turbine over here, which I've just noticed that I've actually sort of blocked with the solar panels, but it doesn't say it's blocked. So yeah, these areas tell you that these areas need to be clear of obstructions, because otherwise the wind turbine will be blocked and won't really produce as much power. And these little bars here tell you how much power they're producing at the moment. So yeah, I'll have to do something about that. So yeah, that's that. Here's my dumping stockpile. This is all the stuff I'll probably use later on, the steel slag and so on and so forth. I'll have to melt it down, and I've just finished the research on the hospital bed, which is nice. Now let's go back to the research screen and do... I don't know. Let's do machining. Yeah, craft guns and machining. Let's research that. So people actually have to research. Now let's talk about why the frig is this iguana now also sleeping in the cold room? They just plop down wherever they want. I gave them these little... Oh, the raccoon is sleeping there now. I'll have to put more of these animal beds down, because the iguana, it's not going to die in one night, but it is going to be hypothermic, because it is quite cold there. And there's the dead dromedary that they brought, and of course it's going to be butchered. But let's talk about people and how to command them. Now, unlike in a lot of games, you don't really directly command your colonists in most situations. Now, you've seen... Yeah, there we go. Bloody hell. She's going to sleep, so I'm not going to get anything here. But fortunately, outdoors it's 16 degrees, so I don't actually need... power now, except for the cold room, but the cold room can go, without power for a few hours, like 12 hours at most. As you can see, the temperature is going up, minus 13, minus 12, minus 11, yeah. So anyway, I've switched these on, but of course, I can't switch them on. I've only told the colonists to go and switch them on. And there's some cargo pods which have dropped down. There we go. What's inside? Oh, berries. I'm gonna take these. I'm gonna leave the steel slags here because I can't use them at the moment yet. So as you can see, I've selected all of them and clicked... I've toggled this, not forbidden, there we go, which means that colonists will come and pick them up and put them into the cold room. Now, the reason they will put into the cold room is because I've actually set this zone. Yes, this is one of those things that you actually zone, and you can select what kind of things you want in your zone. For example, this zone only has raw foods, and also animal corpses, because of course I want the hunted animals, which are killed, brought over here, so they're refrigerated until they can be butchered. And of course, the butcher is set to butcher creatures forever. So any creatures that are brought in will be butchered. So anyway, now let me continue. I digress. Let me continue with controlling the characters. You don't actually control them directly in most cases. Although you've seen that I've controlled Lumi. You can control them when you draft them, but... only as far as combat goes and rescuing and so on. So they're very, they're limited choices, but you never feel overly limited, so to speak. So the colonists will do what they want in most cases, but of course, this is controlled by this little panel. Now, I know, it looks really complicated. It actually looks overly complicated and convoluted at the moment, but it's actually really simple and works quite well. Now, you can set what people will do. For example, only Lumi and Anna will be cooking. That's because they have some cooking skills. Lumi has 4 and Anna has 9, so I'm going to shut that off because Lumi doesn't need to know how to cook. Well, I mean... she's got pretty high cooking, and I want her to be cooking her, because when she gets to 10, she'll be able to cook lavish meals. Of course, lavish meals will require me to have 3 things. Combination of raw meat and raw plant ingredients. Much of the ingredients are wasted. Wow, really? Interesting. And wow, I didn't know. I could actually make them then, probably. Potatoes, corn, and meat to make the lavish meals. Of course, simple meals will be, it'll be nutrition. Fine meals will actually make people a little happier because it's a nice meal. And lavish meals, I'm assuming, will lift their moods even further. But anyway, back to orders. People will do what they want in most cases, but as I said, can be controlled via this. So for example, Lumi is my hunter. So she's the only one with the hunter because she's so good at shooting. And I love this song, by the way. Now all the others, nah, I don't want them to be hunters. I don't need them to be hunters. Stanislav is pretty good at that as well. But, you know, she's the one with the hunting rifle. I want her to be hunter. And of course, over here you can see lower priority, higher priority. So research will have the lowest priority of all, which means that these three, Katya, LeBlanc, and Stanislav, will not be doing research unless there's nothing of this to do. If there's a fire, for example, all of them will be firefighting and leaving all of these rest of the tasks alone until the fire is out. If they have nothing of this to do, but only things to haul and clean, they'll do that first and then go to research. So that's how it works. It might seem complicated and weird and possibly even annoying. What the hell are you doing? Are you still sleeping? You're hypothermic. Okay, only 13%, that's fine. So yeah, it might seem weird and annoying that you can't actually tell them what to do. And in certain cases you can, but it really works well. I'm actually really happy with how the AI does these things, you know? You never feel like you're wrestling with them to do something. In most cases, if you tell them to do something important, they will do something important, like build walls or mine or this and that. If they're not doing something that you want them to do, there's always some kind of an underlying issue, like maybe there's not enough steel available, maybe you need to mine more, you know, or and so on and so forth. And wow, my solar generators are working nicely. Now why the heck are my batteries so slow to charge? I specifically built 3 batteries so I could have more power at night because I don't have enough, and they're just not charging. I can actually switch these off again because I'm producing way more power than I need, and these actually consume wood, which is in short supply. So anyway, that's how you do stuff. Now, when people get knocked down or like unconscious or bleeding and so on and so forth, you can actually select someone without drafting them, right-click on a person, and have them rescued, which means Katya will run over to them and pick them up and bring them to a medical bed. Now, of course, I've got my prison beds, because you can also imprison people. You can actually arrest your own colonists if they're causing some kind of a ruckus. For example, if they're going mental. So that's pretty cool. And of course, when they're prisoners, you will have to feed them, or you can select not to feed them. And you can try to chat with them, have them completely in solitary, or, try to recruit them. Either back into the colony, or recruit, like pirates you've knocked out. So that is pretty damn awesome. Of course, there's also, for example, gear. I know, there's so much complexity in this game, and I absolutely love it. I've actually made these leather cowboy hats and the dusters, because they are very good at keeping heat out and the sun, because this is the desert. So you can see all of them have a cowboy hat and a duster, which is, pretty good for this place. So yeah, they all have apparel, they've got inventory. Why are you holding 34 corn? That's interesting. And equipment, which is guns and stuff like that. Like Lumi, for example, has a survival rifle, which is normal. So there's also quality of items, of everything pretty much. Even chairs, for example. This is an awful steel dining chair. This is a shoddy one because the people who were making them were not very good in construction yet. So, all of these things actually also give you beauty. But of course, because they're so poor, they don't give much beauty. And this place is just absolutely horrible. In fact, what you can do is have Anna, for example, she's going to cook a fine meal. You can have her to prioritize cleaning. So you can, influence them a little bit. Wait, she's using berries and meat. Interesting. And Stanislav over there is playing horseshoes. So yeah, there is loads to do. And as I said, right now, because I prefer a more sandboxy type of play, I'm playing on a very low amount of enemies run, which means at the beginning of the game you can actually set what kind of a storyline or enemies you would like in the game. Well, not specifically what kind of enemies you would like in the game, but how aggressive you want the whole storytelling AI to be. What else have I not covered? Well, lots. There's also factions, which, you can see I'm hostile with the pirates, but I'm hostile with the pirates at all times, and they're hostile with everyone else. And it's interesting why I'm hostile with the Sire of the Forest tribe. I'm not really sure what happened there. You also have background stories for them and so on, so it's pretty awesome. And I'm fairly friendly-ish with these ones. And every now and then they will either come to trade or they will just be passing through, and you can actually trade with them. Now, silver up here in the top left is used as currency, but of course, you can also sell your other stuff to them and then buy stuff from them. Of course, they will severely overcharge you, but it helps. Like when I was really in trouble and I bought those raccoons and some medicine, for example. So there's so much to do. You can grow your own food, for example. If I wanted to zone another growing area, just click this, find. Let me actually remove this. Over here in the lower left, you can look at this fertility, 6%, for example, and this has 70% fertility. This has 100%. So I would be placing down the grow zone over here, for example. And there's 2 dead bodies over here of some pirates, I believe. And then you would click on that zone, the growing zone, like this. And you would select what you want to grow. And there's lots of stuff to grow. There's like rice, corn, potato, daylilies, roses. No, these are for beauty, I think. Strawberries, cotton, and so on and so forth. So over here I've got some potatoes, over here some corn, and over here some cotton. And the colonists will take care of this. They don't actually need watering, which is kind of cool. So, they only need to be planted and then cut. So that's pretty awesome. Of course, the plants will get affected, as you can see. It's got the growth rate of 74%, and that's because of the volcanic winter, because it's not very bright at the moment. Anna is actually cutting the cotton plants. So it's 7.8% grown, so it's far from, being mature. And it's growing, well, at 3/4 of the speed. So, everything has loads of complexity, and I love it. Now they're going to be getting potatoes here. Awesome. Look at all those potatoes we'll be getting now. Harvest failed. He's gonna do it again. That's fine. Actually, I think he screwed that up, but that's alright. And of course, they're not gonna be overly happy about the vomit of Stanislav over here. This was because of that toxic event and everybody got sick. Now we've got some steam geysers. I mean, I could go on and on and on about this game, but I hope that in these 37 minutes, bloody hell, that I've at least shown you a little bit of the complexity and amazingness of this game, and that I don't bullshit people on my videos. I really don't. I tell them what I think of games, whether they've been given to me for free, whether I bought them, or whether they're even sponsored. This, I really, really enjoy this game. If you enjoyed Prison Architect or games like these, you're going to love this game. And also, one more thing I have to say, the music. I love the music. It's so sort of cool and fitting. It really gives you a sense of being, at the frontier. It's just, I don't know, I love this game to bits. And it's still in early access. There's so much they're going to add probably and change, and it's just enjoyable, But here's the thing. I'm going to say this again, just like I said in the beginning, you have to give it a chance, because right now there's no existing tutorial, or there's just these little tutorial tips here. So it really needs a tutorial, because it can be fairly daunting at the beginning. And some people might just say, I can't be arsed with this, I can't be bothered, like I did at the beginning, and then I gave it another chance. So yeah, go and play this, because it's really so awesome. Rat self-tamed. Well, there we go. Rat has become tamed. It is now designated Rat 1. Yeah, that happens sometimes. animals, I'm actually going to put it into animal area 1, some animals can just randomly tame for some reason. And now it's going to go over to here and be in our, in our place. Which is weird. I don't know why they self-tame, but they become friendly, and that's it. I'm still trying to tame these dromedaries so I can actually have them multiply and then have them, butchered for meat. That would be nice. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this preview. I haven't even covered, like, half of the things, probably, but, oh, I love this song. I'm going to see you in another Let's Play, or, well, another preview. This has been MetalCanyon, and we've been previewing Rimworld by Ludion Studios. What a wonderful game. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.